brilliant block in the end, but Martinelli, I think he's got to get his shot off quicker. Thought he came on in the first place. Martinelli got to cut across to his right-hand side, then get the shot off. He turns back on his left foot and allows the block to come in, and Sanchez just comes and picks it up. Smart with the flag. There's no offside there, but afterwards he's offside there. The ball comes back to him. He's a good metre offside. Flag goes up. Well, 3 touches so far for the Swedish international. But the king of goal scorers doesn't always touch the ball that often, but doesn't seem to worry Erling Haaland, and it probably doesn't worry Viktor Gyökeres. I think he works so hard for the team, though, closing down, running across the line. Sometimes when the ball comes to him, maybe he doesn't have the energy to stick it in the back of the net.
ሶስተኛው 35ኛው ደቂቃ ላይ ደርሰናል። 3-2 በሆነ አግሪጌት ውጤት ጨዋታው እየቀጠለ ይገኛል። በዚህኛው ጨዋታ ምንም አይነት ጎል እስካሁን አልተቆጠረም። አብራችሁን ቆዩ።
Into the last 10 minutes of an intriguing and wet first half. Given away by Saliba, gobbled up by Andre Santos. Purposefully forward from João Pedro, couldn't find Delap though. Enzo Fernandez. For Chelsea is they keep the ball into a certain area and then they go backwards, and that allows Arsenal then to get everyone behind the ball. So if they don't move the ball quick enough, Arsenal can get back and get set, and then they're very hard to play through. They end up going backwards. Sanchez drilled away toward Cucurella. Zubimendi keeping the second ball away from João Pedro. Good challenge in Cafe on Delap. Here come Arsenal. Martinelli scampering down the line for finally covering well. Amazing really, Fofana's only just passed 50 games for Chelsea. He's been so unlucky with injury, hasn't he? I mean, he's just, every time you think he's getting back, the kind of player that he looked at Leicester City as a very young man, another injury seems to come along. Yeah, absolutely. Stop, start, and mostly stop and start for him. But when he does play, he gets better with games. They need him to stay fit till the end of the season now. Really pushing all the competitions they're in. Enzo Fernandez for João Pedro. Gusto for Delap. Blocked by Gabriel. Chelsea have a throw-in. They're playing a long game here, Liam Racini's side. Yeah. It's been a long ball. I mean, they're going to use every minute of the 90 minutes to get that goal. Absolutely, but they have 3 players in the box waiting for that cross from Delap. So maybe they're just fancy trying to get a goal before half-time. As we said, a long way to go in this game. The first goal is going to be so important. Both sides know that. It's a good foot in from Gabriel. Martinelli has been sprightly. And they needed all three of them, Gusto, Caicedo and Fofana, but they did the job. And we've got two balls on the pitch. Seen from the crowd, perhaps. They're all a ball boy down there who threw it back on. I don't know. He could have come on and got it. Probably under strict instructions not to. Yeah, absolutely. There was an incident involving Chelsea down at Swansea, wasn't there, with the ball boy? Was that Eden Hazard? Yeah. Chalobah here for Chelsea. 5 minutes of this first half to go. Real goal-scoring opportunities have been out of premium, to say the least. But it's been an enjoyable tactical battle. Sparring at the moment rather than slugging, I think. That's an error by Saliba and a Chelsea corner. Yeah, good little ball round the corner. He's full stretch for that, Saliba. Can't control it out for the corner. Enzo Fernandez is going to take this. Which one of the corner playbook is he going to use? Right onto the fists of Kepa, Andre Santos, Madueke. Good way, well, the goalkeeper there, Kepa, came all the way, put a good punch on it. He's been trying to catch those in these conditions. Cost Chelsea £71 million, Kepa Arrizabalaga. Cost Arsenal 5. Incredible. He did very well down at Bournemouth as well, didn't he? He did, yeah. He did. I thought he did very well, yeah. I think Chelsea bought him on the back of Alisson going to Liverpool. Such a big fee, and then they went out and got a younger goalkeeper. He didn't quite live up to the expectations, I don't think, but still had a good career. Still having a good career. Yeah. And a loan spell at Real Madrid, of course, as well, from Chelsea, Kepa. And he's still only 31, actually. A fresh face 31 as well. Yeah, very young for a goalkeeper. Another 10 years. 10 might be pushing slightly, but I don't know. Peter Shilton, Dino's off. Yes. Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea. Good effort. Palmed away by the aforementioned Kepa. Yeah, he read what Fernandez was going to do there, Enzo. Kepa just moved across and put a good hand on it, pushed it away to safety. Offside. Well, he hit it well, Enzo Fernandez. He's popped up with so many important goals this season. Yeah, it just opens up for him, doesn't it? But you can see what he's going to do, try and bend it in that far corner, and Kepa read it all the way. Comfortable save, really. One for the cameras. Ten goals this season, the latest of which was in stoppage time on Saturday to beat West Ham and complete that 3-2 comeback. Also came from behind to beat Napoli in the Champions League last midweek, so coming coming from behind has been a theme for them over the last 7 to 10 days, and they're having to try and do it again, albeit over 2 legs. Yeah, but I think going into half-time, if it stays like this, I think Liam Rosenior will be pleased with the way his team have handled Arsenal here at home. The Emirates, they're a formidable team, as we touched on. But it's all about concentration and organisation in the second 45, when you've not really played with a back five at all, except for 45 minutes in this game. Zubimendi with the free kick. Eze trying to get there, and very nearly did. Very nearly did. That was an awkward high. Yeah, but what's the goalkeeper doing? Should have come and gathered that. Enzo Fernandez round the corner. Caicedo, tackle of legs, which included those of the referee, I think. Andre Santos says it's my ball. Referee says no, it's mine. If this does go in at 0-0 at half-time, and it looks like that at the moment, you could argue that the game has gone to Liam Rosenior's plan rather more than it has Mikel Arteta's. I think you're absolutely right. There's only 1 minute to add on as well. I think if it does go in at 0-0, but the problem is for Chelsea is, Liam Rosenior, is do I keep playing the same way? When do I have to change if it stays 0-0? How do I force a goal? And that might be bringing this man off to that. He's worked very hard, but he's not going to go by anybody in that wide right position. Yeah, that was it's been said a few times by coaches over the last year or so. Sometimes it's about the players who finish the game as much as it is the players who start the game. And they have Cole Palmer and Estevao on the bench, both of whom are game changers. Yes, absolutely. And scorers, goal scorers. Carter, Caicedo, Cucurella. Well, and he had a bit more confidence in his right boot, he might have had a go then. But there's the half-time whistle. And Liam Rosenior and Mikel Arteta make their way to the dry of the dressing rooms. We are all square halfway through the second leg of this semi-final. Not too many chances to speak of, a couple of fairly routine saves. One apiece really, Sanchez and Kepa. It is 0-0 at half-time, which means that on aggregate, halfway through the second leg of this all-London semi-final, it is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2.
World of Champions. On the world's best football package, this podcast is proudly brought to
occasion and quite the test for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal side to show they have not been knocked out of their stride as they come here to take on Leeds United here at Ellen Road. So welcome inside Ellen Road, where we are anticipating a white-hot atmosphere as Daniel Barker's side gets set to welcome Premier League leaders Arsenal, anxious Arsenal maybe, who fear that what has gone before is going to come again. Leeds striving for survival, knowing that those below them are starting to up their game. First league title in 22 years, Arsenal's ultimate aim. Slides in and he timed it well to get there ahead of Gyökeres. Shooting opportunity here. Flies over the top from Ethan Ampadu.
Well, they can't afford Leeds to really put the squeeze on him. Pushing to him. What a challenge that is for Rodon.
Keeps it forward, looking for Gyökeres, who works it well to find Havertz. He helps it on to find Zubimendi, who doesn't catch it with any conviction.
Well, there's that little bit of combination play. Like, Gyökeres has got to be the focal point he is. He gets hold of it. It's good to have a little play. Havertz and Zubimendi combining there.
Gabriel in the middle, there's plenty going on. Crowded 6-yard box as it comes in. Darlow gets something on it and Leeds scrambling as far as Declan Rice pushed out wide to find Madueke. Who's gone down in the box. The game goes on. Madueke sends in the cross and Arsenal have the lead. It's a goal which has been coming. Flicked in by Martin Zubimendi. And it comes off the back of Arsenal's best period of the game. Leeds 0, Arsenal 1.
I think he found it was coming. Leeds have defended so gamely. But tonight, I'll tell you what, they just refilter and reignite that attack. Declan Rice just pushing that ball out wide.
Movement in the box once again from back to front. And delivery is deep. Gyökeres heads it back across goal. There was no one there to get a final touch to it.
I'll tell you what, it's a brilliant work corner. It's the deep one.
Madueke. Just now 6 inside the box. Madueke looks to just clip one up. Again, it's deflected behind for an Arsenal corner. In comes the corner. Darlow tries to punch it away, but it's found its way in. Kai Havertz wheels away, and Arsenal strike from a corner once again. So many bodies in and around that front post. Looked an unfortunate moment, a moment to forget for Carl Darlow. Arsenal won't care, they lead by 2 goals to 0.
No, but the delivery's brilliant from Madueke. It's got to be dealt with.
Can he make it 3? Well-timed challenge comes in from Joe Rodon. Big opportunity that for Arsenal. Gyökeres unable to make the most of it.
Yeah, this opportunity for Arsenal to go through brilliant through pass and super run from Gyökeres. Equally with the challenge as well from Joe Rodon.
Rides the challenge of Extra. Whips in across his left and turned in. And Arsenal have got their third, and it's Victor Gyökeres. But again, it is a goal which looks so avoidable for Leeds United. But for Victor Gyökeres, his wait for a goal is over. A third for Arsenal, and surely now on course, without doubt, for all 3 points. Chance for an Arsenal forfeit, manages to find some room and find a finish as well, Gabriel Jesus. That is a delightful goal. And Arsenal are cruising here. Why have they answered some questions here this afternoon? Leeds 0, Arsenal 4.
What an outstanding goal. This is outstanding goal from Gabriel Jesus, who has, since coming back into the Arsenal fold, has looked bright, sharp, lively.
A wonderful goal from Gabriel Jesus. The lead at the top of the table, but Arsenal hold now at 7 points. It's hard to think how this day could have been much better for them. Full-time score here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 0, Arsenal 4.
And we're ready for the latest instalment. Less than 5 minutes to kick off as the teams emerge from the tunnel.
the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs remember one of their highs in a difficult Premier League season so far under Thomas Frank have been a win over Manchester City at the FA Cup by 2-0. Can they, with all these players missing, get something out of this one? But City, of course, desperate for the 3 points to reduce the gap at the top of the Premier League to 4 points again behind the leaders, Arsenal.
Position turned over very neatly there. Silva, Haaland, now Cherky. 1-0. Just strolled through and struck it into the bottom left-hand corner. More discontent emanates around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs behind, and it was so easy. Here comes Cherky, going a long way round Romero, still stroking his way through and firing it wide. Almost walking it in. Rodri, Silva, Semenyo, inevitable. Antoine Semenyo scores yet again for Manchester City. And for the second time in 3 weeks, he's put a nail into Spurs. Just not with a touch to that. Rodri, Simons emerging with it. Setting up Udogie, good save. Outstanding goalkeeper from Donnarumma, who's had precious little to do today. He went forward into action. He's produced a wonderful start.
Take the congratulations of his teammates, and rightly so. Hits this sweetly, testing the Udogie, but Donnarumma's equal to it. Stays big, it's a good hand to it. The run from Solanke here.
Still goes. And it is in. 1 for Spurs. The merest hint of a lifeline. Dominic Solanke takes the plaudits. And Spurs are back in the game.
Well, I think this might even be a Mark Gay own goal. I'm sure that he thinks he was fouled in the build-up. Manchester City want an offside. I think he might be okay because Murray, it looks like he's leading him, keeping him on. We'll see it again. Does really well, Solanke, uses his body, cuts inside. Just as he's about to get his shot away, it's between himself and Mark Gay.
Gallagher. Solanke is in the right place at the right time again. Spurs, unbelievably, have got themselves back on level terms. It's 45 minutes. From the end of the last 20, believing that they can win. And Manchester City's aspirations as they blow a 2-goal lead at Ailing Tottenham.
It's a scoreline that never looked likely at half-time. The tension, the frustration amongst the Tottenham Hotspur crowd has lifted.
Some come back now, inspired by Dominic Solanke's second-half brace. There's a performance at half-time that seemed as though it could spell the end of the road on the side of the lane. But some frank words inspire the fight back that might see a corner turn for Spurs. And prompt a decisive chapter in the title race as Manchester City blow the chance to get back within 4 points of Arsenal. Some weekend for the Gunners, big win for them. Villa losing, City blowing a 2-0 lead. And with 13 games of the season to go, who knows that this might be slipping away. It's finished here. Spurs 2, Manchester City 2.
know something good is about to happen. And the gentlemen in here are more than ready in an excellent mood. All of this, we try to unpack how things have turned out in that particular instance.
We needed somebody to go represent Nigeria with talents and abundance in this country. Just nurture them, give them the platform, and they make us proud.
This broadcast is proudly brought to you by Predator Energy Drink. Rule your kingdom.
Despite the setbacks, Memphis still carries itself like a contender. They rank among the league's leaders in ball movement and rebounding, showing that their pace is real and their defense closes out possessions. The standings might say middle of the West, but the numbers say something else. A proven core, toughened by setbacks.
Good evening and welcome to the La Liga EA Sports. Tonight is a big one. The lines with Iñaki at the far side, the highest quality. Edwin has our third penalty of the day. La Liga's top marksman.
Watch La Liga live on Supersport, the world's best football. It's on. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. Play with champions.
Welcome back to the Emirates Stadium as Arsenal take to the field for the second half of the second leg. Chelsea already out there. It's goalless after the first 45 minutes, which means on aggregate, it's still as it was after the first leg at Stamford Bridge 3 weeks ago now. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2. It's very, very tight. Very few really good opportunities in that first half. Nigel Spatman, maybe the best of them for Martinelli, and that block from Gusto. Yeah, I think one long ball through and he beat the offside trap, Martinelli with his pace, but his first touch was okay, but then he tried to get it back on his left foot and that allowed Gusto to come and make the block, and then Sanchez just picked it up. But I think as this game in the second 45 minutes here progresses, Chelsea have got to push a little bit more, maybe make changes to affect the game, try and get a goal. But I think for Arteta, he'd take a 0-0 now. Absolutely, that would take them to Wembley. And that will include tomorrow, whoever wins this one. Manchester City take on Newcastle. City, of course, with a 2-0 lead. Both the first leg matches were won by the away team. So Peter Manx, our referee, is ready. Chelsea get us back underway. There haven't been any half-time changes from either manager. That's the score on the night. The score on aggregate is 3-2 to Arsenal. Chelsea need to change that. As Cucurella pokes it forward to João Pedro, skipping away from Zubimendi. The shot takes a big deflection. Kepa was a nastily spinning ball, that actually. And it's a corner to Chelsea right at the start of the second half. Yeah, bright start from Chelsea at the start of the second half. Get a corner, this ball's going to come in the box, and all the big guys are up there trying to attack it, trying to out Arsenal the Arsenal here in the corner. Chelsea have won this League Cup competition 4 times since Arsenal last won it. Enzo Fernandez is going to take this corner kick. Dropped in and a bit of a mess, and it's goal, just flipped wide. Well, Kepa did not command that goal mouth there. It was pinging about here, there, and everywhere, and that could easily have ended up in the back of the net. Absolutely, and I think VAR are looking at something here as well. But a lot of holding. Saliba on João Pedro, thrown him to the floor. This is going to be interesting. But when Kepa comes to this, he drops it. He pushes it into the back of Fofana and drops it, and it's cleared. Wow. Ricocheted out for a goal kick. Yeah. And I think the video assistant referee, James Bell, has probably decided that it was João Pedro leaning in as much as he was being pulled back, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, as they say. Yeah, very difficult to analyse those, isn't it, unless it's clear and obvious. They're pushing each other, pulling each other, blocking each other. Encouragement for Chelsea, though, and here is Esteban, the Brazilian, who's been clocking up the air miles over the last few days. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Here's Martinelli, Chalobah with a good, strong challenge. And it deflected back onto Gabriel Martinelli and behind for a goal kick. He has that thing that modern defenders do, and they celebrate a tackle. Chalobah gave a little fist pump there. So Esteban was not available for Chelsea on Saturday against West Ham. Personal reasons sent him back to Brazil, but he's here on Tuesday. So over the course of not much more than 72, 86 hours, he's been to Brazil and back. Yeah, let's hope everything's okay at home for him and his family. But he's back here tonight and would love to come off the bench and get a goal and get Chelsea back in this tie. Back on level terms over the 2 legs. But he is a wonderful player, and he's just going to get better the more he plays. Esteban was lucky enough to be in the stadium in the Club World Cup when he scored for Palmeiras against Chelsea. Here's Gabriel. Is it? Midway kick. Nice dipping ball. It's tempting for Declan Rice. He's just overhit. Good build-up play from Arsenal from the left side out to the right side. And the Eke just trying to chip this across the 6-yard box for Rice, making the run from deep. Just gets under it a little bit too much pace on it. Out for the goal kick. Well, Liam Rosenior has changed games on more than one occasion already in his time as Chelsea boss with his substitutions. Cole Palmer came on at Naples and created a couple of assists for João Pedro. All his 3 half-time substitutions were involved with goals and assists against West Ham on Saturday. But here's Gyökeres. There's a ball inside if he could play it, and he couldn't quite. It's important that Chelsea made the block there. Gusto's block on Rice. Yeah, the big thing for Liam Rosenior is if he brings on Palmer or Esteban, it's going to change the system. And maybe he wants to leave it like this as long as he possibly can. And maybe after an hour, maybe 65 minutes, he has to then change it and be a little bit more offensive. Let's face it, if Liam Rosenior, if his tactical plan works as he hopes it does, and he sends Chelsea to Wembley with a win at the Emirates, that is going to be a huge feather in his cap very early in his Chelsea career. Oh, absolutely. And then if he goes on and wins it, the final, he'll be off to a great start. Enzo Fernandez in a bit of a scrap with Zubimendi. He was actually a Wembley loser, Liam Rosenior, against Arsenal in 2014 with Hull City in the FA Cup final when Hull led, if you remember, 2-0 really early on. Probably 2-0 after about 8-9 minutes, but lost 3-2. Yeah. I thought they played very well that day, but run out of steam. Augusto's lost it to Martinelli. Fofana poked it away. Steve Bruce was the Hull City manager at the time. Gyökeres running into Chalobah, and well covered by Joel Harto. His Chelsea career thus far since his move from Ajax has been a little bit in and out. Cole Palmer's stretching with intent. Gusto keeping an eye on Martinelli. We had a hint in the first half that Martinelli could trouble Gusto for pace. It's a proper battle. That's what English football's all about. Well won by Gabriel. João Pedro's pirouette. And a Chelsea free kick. Actually, I've been really impressed with his hold-up play tonight, João Pedro. Sometimes he just wants to run in behind and do little tricks on the ball, but his battling and his hold-up play has been excellent tonight, relieving the pressure on Chelsea. Does it again there, draws the foul. And the yellow card is brandished to Mikel Arteta. But for sarcasm, I think. Well, I don't know why Mikel always gets involved. I mean, he's always out of his technical area, winding up supporters, winding up players. Doesn't need to do that. Rice, Madueke. His extravagant back heel has gone straight out of play. A long biff by Sanchez. Cucurella was the furthest forward man for Chelsea, dealt with by Timber. Chelsea song you can hear at the moment. Enzo Fernandez to Delap. Could be a free kick, it is. Yeah, they're getting frustrated at times, Gabriel and Saliba. They give him too many fouls away tonight, trying to win the ball when they don't really need to go in for that challenge. They've done their job. Go back towards his own goal, towards the halfway line, and you get a silly free kick away in a very dangerous area. Definitely a frustrated feel about Arsenal at the moment. Harder to collect things tonight at home than they did 3 weeks ago away. Their defence rather than their attack right now. As Enzo Fernandez is going to take this Chelsea corner. A free kick. Out by Rice. Harto saw it charged down by Eze. Madueke. I think he was caught by Liam Delap. Madueke got there first, the ball was still in play, and Delap caught him and gets a yellow card. He's just too quick down the line. He just catches him slightly there, but Madueke makes the most of it. Watch this. Pulls his leg down. Slightest of touches and gets a yellow card for that. Yeah, not a huge amount in it. Kepa, Rice. Slip by Andre Santos. Saliba can advance here. Maguire cutting inside. Lovely little clip ball, but at the near post, it was Sanchez at the far. It might have been Arsenal head.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to do here. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? In the end, it went straight into Sanchez's hands. Very easy.
Maybe deflected, actually. Might have just flicked on Cucurella.
It looks to me down our right-hand side here in front of us that Liam Delap is really struggling with the pace of this game. The effort that he's put in, I think that's going to be the problem for Liam Rosenior is when do I make those changes? When do I put the fresh legs on? Does it upset the way we've set up? To wait and see. But Arsenal at the moment, at 0-0, going, well, we don't need to do anything.
Well, Esteban and Cole Palmer are both coming on. Here they are, goal scorers, game changers. Two of the brightest stars in Chelsea's firmament, albeit that Cole Palmer has struggled with injury for most of this season. Interesting to see if he takes off one of his back five.
I think he's got to take off Delap. That'll be one of them. Who's going to be the other one? We'll have to wait and see. But I don't see him changing his back five. I think it's worked so well for him. I think he'll have to be in that midfield area. Maybe Andre Santos.
We're approaching the hour mark. Chelsea are still very much in this tie, but they do, somewhere along the line, need to score a goal. And they haven't really threatened that so far. But as someone once said, it only takes a second.
It only takes a second, and if you bring on the quality of Palmer, Gusto's gone down with a slight injury here. Might be a rethink. But I think if Palmer comes on, he can create a goal, he can score a goal. Sturdo is the same. But does it upset the balance of your team?
This looks like a sort of abdomen issue for Gusto.
I don't really want him going off. He gives him that balance down the right-hand side. He's got good energy, like Cucurella on the other side. There's no Reece James tonight.
No. Well, as we just said, that might mean that they just have to adjust what their thinking was. Josh Ashington is being spoken to by Liam Rosenior. He can play. Well, I've seen him play as a right back. I'm not sure I've seen him play as a right wing back, but
Well, he likes to get forward from right back, doesn't he? I saw him in the FA Cup game against Charlton. He played very well, pushed forward, so he can do that. But it might be the first time he starts, as you're right, as a wing back rather than a right back.
well, it is going to be a triple change now, which is not what he had for Steve originally. But Esteban and Cole Palmer are coming on. The Joel Harto, who's coming off, one of the three. So Esteban is coming on, Cole Palmer is coming on, and Josh Ashington is also going to be coming on, I think. Delap is making way, as predicted by Nigel Spackman. So number 41, Esteban Willian, to give him his full name, is on. There he is, Esteban, out on the left-hand side at the moment. João Pedro has moved up a little bit to play down the middle. Cole Palmer to his right, Esteban to his left. Here's Madueke. on Arsenal's right-hand side, having a little run at Chalobah. Blocked off by a combination of Chalobah and Cucurella. Gyökeres having to go and chase his first touch. Andre Santos came across. It's not a foul. Gyökeres can't believe that.
I'm just looking, Gusto's still out there, isn't he?
Yeah,
But have they gone to a back four? I'm just trying to work out.
you know, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah, Cucurella as a four maybe, with Caicedo and Andre Santos holding, and you've got João Pedro up front, Enzo, Cole Palmer and Esteval. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 4-2-3-1, I think. Yeah.
Here's Cole Palmer. Gusto is certain to be coming off, but now he's recovered, it would seem. And he's got onto that pass from Caicedo, and that's a Chelsea corner off Ngapié. The ball kind of hit one ankle, then the other.
Yeah. He did let that run across his body there, Gusto, and he's in. Poor touch, but it came back off the defender and out for the corner.
Chelsea are causing Arsenal knees at the moment. So Fernandes with the corner, which is only half clear. Cucurella. His first goal at the weekend. This would have been quite a way to get his second.
You can see what he's trying to do, bend it in that top corner and get closed down, try and bend it back in there, kept out it covered all the way. He was off target. But this is going to be an interesting last half an hour here. Chelsea pushing for a goal. Will they leave the gaps in the back, which Arsenal can exploit? When does Arteta change some of his personnel?
Gabriel forward. Cucurella. And that's the Arsenal bench, by the way. Kai Havertz, who started their last couple of games, having been out for most of the season with a knee injury. Leandro Trossard, who is having such an impressive season. Gabriel Jesus fit again. They are the attacking options. I think they need to think about changing their defence as long as they stay injury-free. Palmer with a good ball into Enzo Fernandez. On it goes to Esteval. João Pedro in the middle. Esteval chinking inside of Saliba and lifted over the top of the crossbar by Enzo Fernandez. But he's always looking, Enzo Fernandez, isn't he? Always got half an eye on where the goal is.
Yeah, that's why he likes playing slightly on the left, so he can take things across his body and try and curl like that. This one's off target. And not trying to take the responsibility of the shot. Just went for too much pace on it, lost control of it.
He has scored 10 goals this season in all competitions, albeit that 5 of them have been penalties, but they'll count. Zubimendi was made to hurry, and his pass evaded Gabriel as a result.
Yeah, this what gets the crowd nervy as well here at the Emirates. They start getting nervous, they're trying to play out too much, making silly mistakes, then that the players take that on board as well. Maybe Chelsea feel they've got a chance here.
João Pedro, we're disappointed that João Pedro didn't get it into his feet more quickly, or indeed at all. were some great pictures watching the Arsenal-Manchester United game the other week of Arsenal supporters just going through the mill as they lost that game to Manchester United.
There might be a few more games like that until the end of the season.
Caicedo's ball. João Pedro went to ground too easily.
Yeah, he knew he wasn't going to get it, so he just threw himself on the floor. Too straight this ball anyway. These conditions for the goalkeeper. On the shoulder, that's where he goes down, but he was never going to get the end of it.
Well, from a neutral point of view, we wanted it to be in doubt going into the last quarter of the game. And it is. That's exactly what Mikel Arteta did not want.
No, he didn't want that, but he's got to be positive. He's got to make changes, attacking changes, because he needs to take the game to Chelsea.
Havertz is going to be coming on, be at least one. Gyökeres might be about to come off. Malo Gusto got something on it. Nkapie. Well, that's a decent ball, well watched by Sanchez. And released early. João Pedro.
Yeah, I think Kai Havertz, if he comes on, gives him a bit of height as well and cleverness. He's a very clever player. Does he come and play as a number 10?
Malo Gusto kept that in play. And might have just been caught by Nkapie. He thinks that Malo Gusto is trying to make a mountain out of a molehill here. But the referee didn't think so. Well, actually, he's put Malo Gusto for a dive, yeah. Yeah, good decision. What a good bit of referee.
I don't know why Gusto just didn't keep going. He gets a yellow card for that. Rightly so.
So when we do see Kai Havertz, we'll be seeing another former Chelsea player coming on. Of course, one who scored the winning goal in their second Champions League triumph for 2021. And number 21. Number 29. Kai Havertz is coming on for Victor Gyökeres. Madueke is also making way. We just passed the midway point of the second half. Leandro Trossard is never, ever less than effective. He's having such a good season.
Yeah, and the thing is with both these players, they can score goals, they work hard. And Havertz can hold the ball up and bring others into the game as well. I think they're two good substitutions for Arsenal.
Declan Rice forward. Looks like could run a bit of header. Rice. Trossard's on the left for Arsenal. Havertz down the middle of Martinelli on the right, it would seem. Nkapie can't get inside the area. Fofana. Nkapie thought Fofana took that behind for a corner, but that's not what's been given.
I think those substitutions for Arsenal just liven the crowd up a little bit. They've gone a little bit quiet up to this point.
Kneed away by Fofana, collected by Enzo Fernandez. Esteban couldn't get it through Timber. He's done well. Timber stayed on his feet there. Esteban made the challenge. A yellow card is coming out for Esteban. I'd like to see that again. He might be a little bit unlucky. I thought he got a bit of the ball.
I think that's harsh. The referee there. I thought he refereed the game really well first half. A couple of strange decisions second half. It was a foul, no more than that. Good turn from Timber. Just pulling his arm. I don't think that deserves a yellow card.
But he's in the book. Minutes to go. He's made on. His substitutions on Saturday brought almost instant rewards. Here's Palmer. It's a poor control.
We should have left it. Should have just stepped over it, João Pedro. Just about was away.
He's only actually started 5 of Arsenal's last 15 games. Got that hat-trick in the North London derby. And has almost been a bit part player ever since.
Yeah, that's why it's such a strong squad, as we touched on before the game and during this game. And I think he's really struggled to, where is my role in this team? He's trying to play down the middle or just off the front at the moment as an attacking midfielder. Sometimes he plays in a wide position. Just can't seem to hold down a place in the team at the moment. Garnacho getting ready for Chelsea as well.
Yeah, scored a couple of goals in that first leg in the 3-2 defeat at Stamford Bridge. Alejandro Garnacho, and Liam Rosenior will be hoping that he can do likewise here. João Pedro going to ground again. Also scored two in the quarter-final win at Cardiff, actually, Alejandro Garnacho. So 4 of his 6 Chelsea goals so far have been in this competition. Peter Banks is stalking over to Andres Santos here. Zubimendi is the man down for Arsenal.
Did he run into him?
Zubimendi is okay, he's back on his feet. Enzo, as captain, is leading the case for the defence. And Peter Banks wants a word with both skippers. I mean, there's been, it's been very competitive. It should be very competitive. It's a semi-final. I don't think it's overstepped the mark.
No, I think in the conditions, I think the referees handled the game well most of the time. I think it's been competitive without being over the top by anybody. And that's what you want from a semi-final. Well, he did stick his leg out a little bit there.
Yeah, he did. Have a look. There it is, the hip. It wasn't a trip, it was a hip.
Yeah.
So Garnacho is coming on for Chelsea, and Andres Santos is making way. So 3 changes, 3 players of attacking intent on Estevao, Cole Palmer and Garnacho, who was whispering something to Cole Palmer there. Here's Gusto. Estevao with Garnacho on the pitch. Estevao's gone to the right. Pedro couldn't get it back into Cole Palmer.
This is going to be a massive 20 minutes coming up in both these teams' seasons. One goal for Chelsea. This is going to ignite this game.
Arsenal have already been involved in 1 shootout in this year's competition. It's not impossible there might be another. Past Crystal Palace here in the quarter-final, 8-7 on penalties. But if Chelsea don't score, Arsenal go to Wembley.
Absolutely. Mikel Arteta and his coaching staff and players who take that, that's for sure.
And Arsenal are arguably the toughest side in the Premier League to score against. Kai Havertz, Eze. Might have been a touch, there was a touch. 15 to play. conceded 5 goals in their last 2 home games, a 3-2 defeat to Manchester United, and then with a weakened side in what for them was a dead rubber, a 3-2 win over Kairat Almaty in the Champions League.
Yeah, but what a big kick for a goal now, just to take the pressure off them. Declan Rice over this free kick.
If they can get a goal here, you'd feel they were well clear, running off the bend in a 400 metres race. Trossard couldn't get through the Chelsea defence. Declan Rice into Zubimendi. Unselfish, great cross, blocked by Cucurella. Well, Gabriel got lots of power on it, but Cucurella was in the way. It's a little nudge by Malo Gusto on Trossard, which brings Arsenal a free kick. And this is probably their best chance of the game.
Yeah, I think it just hit Cucurella. As he comes onto it, Gabriel headed it. Cucurella doesn't know much about it, I don't think. Just hits him right in the forehead, just gets himself in the way. Really good defending.
It's a lot of tension. That's given away to Garnacho, João Pedro. Garnacho. Caicedo. Palmer. Esteban, a strong challenge in Captain. It's a free kick to Chelsea. And this is maybe what they've been waiting for 78 minutes for, because this is what, 5-6 strides outside the penalty area, dead centre.
Yeah, and that's why Cole Palmer's been brought on. Just to give them a bit of quality, a bit of craft. They fancy this free kick, that's for sure. Left foot, centre of the pitch.
He doesn't want any shrinking violets in his wall, that's for sure. If it hits you in the face and breaks your nose, then let it break your nose.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll put a man on the floor behind the wall. Who is it scored one under the wall the other week? Soboslai, wasn't it, for Liverpool?
Yes, really good free kick. It's all jumped to put it underneath. But if you're like Fofana here, you don't want to do anything silly and give a free kick away if this ends up in the back of the net. Just be sensible. Sometimes players just get carried away in the emotion of the game. Just don't do anything silly. You don't need to do anything.
Well, those Chelsea fans are poised to capture the moment. There's a lot of people in there ready to post this on TikTok. Meantime, the clock continues to tick-tock, and we're almost into the last 10. This could be massive. There's a lot of arguing about the position of the wall here. Chelsea are saying that the toes are in front of the line, and you can indeed see that they are. If they shuffle back anymore, they'll all fall over Eze. It's Cole Palmer, it's into the Arsenal wall. He said handball, the follow-up is defective. It'll be a corner kick. Well, Enzo was immediately saying that there was a handball here. Let's see.
I think it's off the shoulder. My first look at that.
Well, it's Havertz, isn't it? There's a pause. I'd be very surprised. One quick glance at that. I'd be very surprised if James Bell, VAR says, handball by Havertz. This is the follow-up. And that's not going to be given either.
It's hands down by his side.
Corner kick it is. under 9 minutes to play. In goes this corner kick. Caicedo! Oh, sorry, beg his pardon. Fofana.
Yeah, Fofana made the run, crossed everyone to the near post, a little flick off target. Just has got a knock in the mouth as well. But the referees find it so difficult to keep an eye on everything that's going on. Yeah, needed a very, very, very faint touch here. Yeah, once you've run past that near post at pace, it's got to be a very faint little touch off the outside of the boot. Fofana. But they're running out of time here, Chelsea.
Yeah. Liam Rosenior. Deep in thought. Is there going to be a final for the 41-year-old coach in his first season in English football's top flight, or is it going to be what would be only a second final for Mikel Arteta? Won the FA Cup early on in his Arsenal career, 2020, his first season as Arsenal's manager. And you cannot but say that Arteta has taken Arsenal to heights which they hadn't seen for some time, but has won nothing since 2020. Martinelli kept that in play, I think, but Malo Gusto is there, and he's given it back to Gabriel Martinelli. Trossard. Rice was waiting, but Cole Palmer was there for Chelsea just as well from their point of view. João Pedro did really well. Palmer bouncing off Trossard. Eze wins it. Chelsea have a man down. It's 4-3. And that might be a penalty. Well, the referee hasn't given it. Chalobah made the challenge. Martinelli's gone to ground. Chalobah is saying the Arsenal man dived.
Oh, Chalobah slips where it got the ball and then collides with Martinelli. I don't think you give a penalty for that. So he gets the ball there. Just a little follow through though as well. But I think that'd be a bit harsh to give a penalty for that. But once the left leg of Chalobah follows through, Martinelli goes down. If we're looking at this VAR,
Yeah.
lifts his left leg up.
Yeah, is that a deliberate movement when you can't climb into the head of Chalobah and decide and be certain? But would Martinelli have had a run on goal but for the challenge? Not in the opinion of James Bell, the video assistant referee, or Peter Banks. They stick with the on-pitch decision. If Arsenal don't go to Wembley, Mikel Arteta's thoughts on that will be interesting. Fofana for Estabao. Malo Gusto. And Capia. Trossard's forward ball. Sanchez is there. Moises Caicedo, far by Zubimendi, one he was fairly happy to make, I think.
Yeah, just stop the flow of the game.
Action Pong will be on shortly. About 25 minutes after we thought he was coming on for Malo Gusto. Yeah. 8 years since their last final in this competition. Arsenal are 5 minutes plus added time away. Estabao. That's a good head of that. Needed to be two. Cucurella. Gusto. Enzo Fernandez to Moises Caicedo. Good ball. Esteban to deal with. Fofana sidestepping Trossard and hitting Capier. It's cleared away high by Gabriel for Chelsea. Throw it. Miscontrolled by Liam Rossini. Much the enjoyment of the Arsenal fans. Here comes action from. It's getting very nervy out there though. The crowd are very nervous. The Arsenal crowd down there. Just is off. Josh Ashton straight into the action and he's fouled. Playing Capier. It's a Chelsea free kick here. Into the 88th minute of the second leg of this semi-final. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2 on aggregate. Goalless on the night. Enzo Fernandez with the free kick, a little flick on. Chelsea just hoping it might drop their way, but it didn't. It's a goal kick to Arsenal and more seconds will tick away. Only had one attempt on target tonight, Chelsea. That was the Enzo Fernandez shot, first half. Kepa made a quite comfortable save from that. I think overall, I think both teams in the semi-final have done well. They've played their game. Tactically, it's been very interesting. But a lack of cutting edge for both teams tonight. And probably for Arsenal, they know they're a goal up. They didn't really have to throw everything at it. But for Chelsea going forward, they must create more chances. Martinelli, Eze. Rice for Nkapie. Well, we know Arsenal can play scintillating, attacking football. If they do get to Wembley tonight, Mikel Arteta will also know that they can dig deep and get involved in a physical and tetchy, sort of scrappy kind of game, and stick to a game plan and see it through. It's a slip, not a trip. And that might bode well for them as they chase this and other trophies in the weeks ahead. Also, it might suit them that it's at Wembley, neutral ground, where they're home at the moment. They're finding it a little bit tough, a little bit of pressure on them. Those games against Liverpool and Man United, this game tonight, not been their most fluid, but they're getting the result done tonight so far. It'll be very interesting to see how much added time Thomas Bramwell, the fourth official, is going to add on. However much it is, you can bet your bottom dollar Mikel Arteta will say it's too much, and Liam Rossini will say it's not enough. Enzo Fernandez. Now that's where they wanted to get. Little ball from Palmer, opens up for Fernandez. It goes for power, loses his balance, he's off target. 6 added minutes. Added minutes. Don't think anybody's thinking of going home yet. No, one bit of brilliance from the Chelsea player, or a mistake from an Arsenal defender. Referee has stopped play. We've got 2 balls on the pitch again. That 6 minutes is now down to 5. Yeah, Peter Banks will add it on. It'll be 6 minutes from round about now, I would have thought. Certainly 5.5 anyway. Kepa with the clearance. Jean Pedro Chalobah is going to be put under pressure by Martinelli. Sanchez. That will do from Arsenal's point of view.
That's poor from Sanchez this late in the game. You've got to be brave. It's a straight out of play. Arsenal just take their time, as they rightly should, on everything now.
Peter Banks very pointedly stopping his watch as Arsenal debate what to do with this throw-in. Capia takes it. Leandro Trossard with a flick to Eze. Rice. Action with the Chelsea throw. The ball is at the wrong end of the pitch from their point of view, and the game is at the wrong end of the clock as Rice wins a header. So Fofana sees it charged down. Here's Sanchez. Cole Palmer for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer, lots of blue shirts forward. Palmer advances. Rice with a really important block. Trossard digging it out, but it's collected by Caicedo.
They did brilliant there. Declan Rice read the situation, got the block in.
The volume from the home fans rises. At most, you would say 3.5 minutes to play. Garnacho. Chalobah. Enzo Fernandez. Trevor Chalobah. Garnacho. Caicedo dinked in toward Garnacho, well defended, connected by Trevor Chalobah, touched onto Enzo Fernandez, poked through, João Pedro clear away, struck back in into Espinal.
There's a couple of times now on that left-hand side, Garnacho's got through the ball in the box, got half the yard and whip it in. You can't just play tippy-tappy football all the time. You've got to have an end product as well.
Esteban. João Pedro, and Fofana trying to wriggle through the legs. Where it's going to ricochet? It's Caicedo, deflected by Trossard. Chelsea have a throw-in, but they don't have much time. Cucurella, Caicedo, as is there. Rice's clearance greeted with a mighty roar from the Arsenal fans. Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer. Garnacho, it's blocked. There might be a break on here. Declan Rice for Arsenal. Well, Martinelli's chasing it. Sanchez. Enzo Fernandez, seconds for Chelsea to stay in the competition. Esteban, Moises Caicedo, Esteban. Blocked by Trossard. Spinning ball isn't going to go for a corner. Cucurella. Chalobah. All eyes on the referee. We've gone beyond the 6, and that's a looping header, which is Very, very comfortable from action point into the gloves of Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Arsenal are on the point of celebrating. Kepa's clearance. The whistle is in the mouth, I think, of the referee. It's Cucurella forward. Encapié away. He's glanced at his watch. Declan Rice sends it clear, and this should finish it. Havertz, Bernard Sanchez, and Arsenal are going to Wembley. Kai Havertz sends Arsenal to the Carabao Cup final.
Well, what a cool finish it was from the big man as well. Kai Havertz just took a touch, looked up, only took it to the side of Sanchez and just knocked it in the back of the net. But time was running out for Chelsea anyway. They pushed so many players forward. One ball there from Cucurella. Declan Rice did so well. Found Havertz and he found the back of the net. And Arsenal are going to win this game, win the semi-final, get to Wembley. And tonight they've shown that they can defend. They can also frustrate you. And in the end, they can get a goal as well.
Well, it was 3-on-1. Great ball from Rice. Composed from Havertz. And this is the moment Arsenal book their place in what will be only their second final under Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I think they'll be partying in North London tonight. They deserve that. Get to Wembley, got a chance of getting silverware. Who it be against Man City or Newcastle, we'll have to wait and see. But Arsenal know they're there. It was a bridge too far for Chelsea. But Arsenal have just got a big squad, strong squad. And they've shown that again tonight.
And the final whistle goes. And Mikel Arteta is taking his team back to northwest London under the Wembley Arch. They will face either Manchester City or Newcastle in the final of the 2026 Carabao Cup. Kai Havertz, the former Chelsea man, scoring the decisive goal in the second leg. And I think Nigel Spackman, over the course of the two games, Stamford Bridge and here at the Emirates, you would say that Arsenal edged it, but Liam Rosenior's side gave everything they had tonight.
Yeah, I think Chelsea lost it in the first leg at home. They were too open, and Arsenal could have actually scored more goals at Stamford Bridge like 3 weeks ago, as it was. But tonight, when you're a goal up and you're at home, it's a difficult one. The mentality: do you go for it and try and get another goal and get in front, or do you just keep what you've got and defend as we can? And that's what Arsenal did tonight, and frustrated Chelsea for a long period. But overall, I think over the 2 legs, Arsenal deserve to be going to Wembley.
On the night, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, on aggregate in the semi-final.